So, welcome everybody to this very, very important talk. I'd say out of all the talks we had here in the hub, I'd put you on the very top list of the importance. And you know, to all of you viewers out in Sweden, wherever you are, all the talks we have here, we live stream and we save them. So it's possible to share this afterwards, because I'm sure that you, after you heard this, are going to want to share this link. You find it in the official program of Almedalen. You go into this program point and you can just share it, and you will find after this meeting the recording. And you also have in the audience here one of the most famous Swedish journalists that right now, Joachim, you can stand up, please. And it's not to give you an applause, but it's to give you an understanding. Joachim was right now in prison 51 days in Turkey. He came to the border and he was accused, I think, for both assaulting the minister, the prime minister, president, and also for terrorism and all different kind of things. So you also know what can happen when you come behind bars. And this is going to be one part of the talk today. So I'd like to introduce to you Mikhailo, Vladislav, and Malik. And I will give the microphone to you. And really thank you for coming all the way from Ukraine to be here. You witnessed yesterday in front of 10 ambassadors and people from the Swedish government about the time you had. There was no dry eye during that time. So with those words, please take the floor.
Thank you, Sven. Thank you, Sweden, for invitation, for a very, very, I would say, a lovely visit for us. And we hope that this topic that we have today will be interesting for you. At least our main goal is to share experience. And as I work in a sphere of countering Russian disinformation, the project was founded a year ago, and we started visiting different European countries. So, and we share experience in and understanding and trying to find resilience for Europeans for countering Russian disinformation. So, if you please move the next slide, you will see that one of the part of our project is that we have several volunteers that monitor European countries' informational space. And yeah, for now it was made for 10 countries, and for these 10 countries we detected 93 sources that are sharing Russian propaganda, disinformation, and narratives. And 93 is, that's not like a small number, because there are millions of people that are reading that, and they are being influenced by Russian narratives and disinformation and propaganda. So I just want to highlight that there is a threat, and usually Europeans don't mention and don't think that they are at war with Russia, but actually you are just the face of the informational war. We are on conventional, excuse me, and you are in informational front line. So next please. And the second way we are trying to share our experience is that we invite Ukrainian fact-checkers to European countries, and they meet their colleagues, and they are starting cooperation, they make investigations, and so on. So that's like more experience and efficient way of cooperation. And the next slide, please, which is also, I think, important, which trying to share experience of our POWs that were in captivity in Russia, because there was not only a physical tortures for them, there was also a tries to russificate, to disinformate, to use propaganda against them, and but that's their part that they will talk about today. I think it is important to share this information because you need to understand how what the path is from the thinking and talking to the physical impact on human body and human and just humans and our soldiers. So the next slide, please, is actually that's the picture how we see it. 25 years ago, or even a little bit more, when Vladimir Putin became a president, almost first thing that he started to do is trying to get over all the media they have in Russia. For now, they have blocked over, I think now the figure is about 500,000 different sources in Russia that share opinion from the outside world. So they're closing their media space as much as possible. I think that a year maybe or two and they will be like in North Korea or something, because that's where they are moving to. And in Europe and in Ukraine, there is a difference how we act on the issue of Russian disinformation sources. So the next slide, please. This is a typical informational attack that is being held now for several months to Ukraine. So you see these three pictures, they look very similar, but in fact there are like dozens of the same pictures with the same message. They're trying to break our spirit to reveal and they share these AI generated pictures that Ukrainian soldiers are so poor, they have no legs, arms and so on, so we don't need to resist anymore, we have to surrender and so on, so on. But the thing is that what actually shows how deep Russians don't understand Ukrainians, because they used to say that, oh, we are the same nation, we are the same narod. And we are not, because what they do is actually making us to be more angry and more resilient to what they are trying to do to us. Yeah, so, and the next slide, please. So I will not talk about everything, but just one example, not to take much time. So within the second slide where we showed you the 93 sources that we found in different countries. So we sent part of this information to Ukrainian security service that acts against cyber threats and so on. And what they did we actually were surprised for this, they blocked part of these sources in Ukrainian territory just in 3 months. So now some of these sources are blocked in Ukraine, but they're still working in European Union. And as I mentioned, when I talk to Europeans in different countries, this is our 15th country, I think. Usually you say, or they say that, there's a democracy and we have to listen to different points of view, and that would be totally okay and all right for everyone. But the thing is that Russia is trying to make an impact on you, on your democracy, and that's a threat. That's something that I think that you should be resilient for. So you need to separate just disinformation and disinformation that aims to cause damage to your country and to your democracy. We decided to split our talks like for 10 minutes per each, and then we will have Q&A session for 10 or 15 minutes. And now I would like to give a word for Vlad Zadorin. Next slide, please. He was in captivity for 2 years, and he will share his experience in there. So please, Vlad.
Вітаю. З пропагандою я зустрівся зразу же.
Hello.
Вітаю ще раз. На острові Зміїном я з пропагандою зустрівся зразу.
He was at Zmyny Island, and that's where he faced Russian propaganda at the very beginning.
Як ви думаєте, що самі росіяни шукали на цьому острові?
What do you think? What Russians were looking for at this island?
Якщо варіантів немає, то я скажу, що це біохімічна лабораторія, де якоби американці вирощували там бойових дельфінів, комарів бойових і тому подібне.
Yeah. So they were looking for a biolab on this island where like they were thinking Americans are growing combat mosquitoes and combat dolphins and kind of that.
І це не жарт. Вони дійсно переворачували всі камні, шукали, всі скелі заходили в ущелля, всі різні, і хотіли знайти ті самі ворота. І це правда.
And that's not a joke. They were really trying to turn over all the stones, looking to all the corners, and they were trying to find this button that opens a gate to the biolab.
Знову ж, в Старому Осколі зустрівся з пропагандою тим, що росіяни в кожній камері, які були, давали мову європейську, там, німецьку, польську, англійську, неважливо було. І потрібно було в баню ходити під читалки цих мов.
At Starý Oskol, he faced also these types of propaganda because they were sitting in different cells, and Russians told them to speak like accountings in different languages when they were going to a shower. That was like once a week. They had to go and take a shower, and they were counting.
Тобто ми йшли в баню в такому положенні, зігнутими, майже головою доторкалися до підлоги, і потрібно було считати. Моя камера на німецькому считала «Eins, zwei, drei, vier, eins, zwei, drei, vier».
So they had to be bended like this. Their head should be almost on the floor when they...
Третій випадок з їхньою пропагандою, він найтакий найпікантніший, можна сказати. Це було в Олексіївці, самими молодими хлопцями, росіянами, які заставляли нас роздягатися, танцювати танго і цілуватись між собою.
So, and the third example was in Oleksiivka. I have to mention that Vlad changed 7 different prisons. So that was in Oleksiivka. There was some guard who was younger, about 24 years young, and he said them to get the clothes off and to dance tango.
Звісно, ми відмовлялися від цього, і приходили наглядачі, спецназ приходив, і вони нас не били, а били того, хто нам це сказав робити. Чому він так думав? Тому що він казав, що ми Європа. Ну, якщо ми в Україну хочемо в Європу, то ми Європа, і ми повинні були виконувати те саме, що і виконують в Європі. ЛГБТ-паради, геї, лесбіянки і тому подібне. Отак вони нас рівняли.
So this guy that told them to dance and to kiss, and they refused to do that. And he said that I'm going to call Spetsnaz and they will beat you. So he went and they still refused. So he went and told this to Spetsnaz, and that's like a special forces in Russia. And they asked him why he wanted them to beat the prisoners, and he said why. And then they said that they will beat him, but not the prisoners, because that's something not good to do. And why this guy was telling them to do this, it's because he said that you are going to Europe, and Europe is full of gays, and you are gays, and you have to do stuff like gays do, parades, and so on.
І наостанок хочу сказати те, що сьогодні відмічається в цьому світі День жертв катування і тортур. Наших хлопців багато в полоні. Надіємося те, що вони якнайшвидше попадуть на свою землю. Тому пам'ятайте про них, хто знаходиться в полоні, і ті, хто не витримав полону, або тих, кого вже вбили в полоні.
Vlad mentions that actually today is a day when the victims of the tortures are being like you have to think and remember, so somehow it is today. And he said that please remember the victims of the tortures that are still in Russian prisons, and those who did not survive this.
Дякую.
Thank you. And Yevgeny, who was a defender of Mariupol, spent 2.5 years in captivity, please.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Evgeny. I'm a former mariner, and I want to. We can speak hours about the captivity because it's so long period of time. We do not have enough time, unfortunately, to do that. But here we can just discuss why Russians behave like that. What is the sense of tortures? And speaking about it, we can mention also the way of propaganda. The way propaganda works on the brain of people. I like to mention that during the Second World War, the first country which was occupied by Hitler was Germany. The same we can say to Russian Federation. The first country Putin occupied was Russian Federation. The way he managed it with the help of propaganda. Why Russians behave like that? Why they consider that in Europe every man is a gay and every woman is a lesbian? That is the way of. That is the result of every daily news of Russia Today, Russia 24, all these new TV shows, the informational channels on YouTube, the way because all sources which Russian Federation use, even as a private channels, informational channels, are supported and financed by Russian government. They simply do not have nothing private in the informational sphere. You cannot make a news source, any kind, no matter magazines or YouTube, online, internet, on TV, and be independent. That is simply impossible. FSB Institute works to prevent it. And the result is that we got a young generation of Russians. The average age is 25 years old, plus minus 5 years, who grow up during the Putin's cadention as a president in Russian Federation. And as a result, they got a wrong view on Europe, on democracy, and etc. As a result, we got millions of Russian soldiers. We got such people as Russian guards who torture captivities. And no matter the nationality, we got information that we got captivities in Russia from Great Britain, from even Middle East, even Africa, even such countries as Morocco, and they said the same attitude to them. They were electrocuted, beaten up with the police batons, plastic tubes, biting with the dogs, and etc. Russians made the same to Ukrainian soldiers in the prison, to any people who got there. Even with the Russians who were fighting for Ukraine and got to the captivity, they made the same. Why is that so? The result of propaganda. In case you work in that way 20, 30 years, you will get the generation of zombies. And as a result, as we can see, we got millions of Russians who are ready to not to defend themselves, but to invade in other countries and occupy other territory. Just ask yourself, how is it possible in the 21st century? Who cares about like neighbor's territory? Who wants to die for the land? Is that normal in the 21st century? This is the medieval, isn't it? Like, but in Russia that is normal. Why? Because we got Putin, who is the president during last 25 years, and he made this program from the very first day of his presidence. So I just want to mention that propaganda kills. the same as bullets. And I could feel that in Mariupol. I've seen how many people, soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers and civilians, were killed by Russians, and I've seen what they did in Russian prisons with all. They did the same with women as well, because women serve, females serve in the Ukrainian army the same as males, and they did the same with women as well. That is something what in our culture, this is disrespect for yourself, but still they did it. So I just want you to remember that propaganda kills, and you have to defend yourself, defend your brain and from Russian sources of propaganda. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. There's this question that we hear usually, and sometimes even Russians announce it like, do Russians want war? And the answer is, look at their kindergartens and their schools. What are they teaching their younger generation? And among of everything else, they teach them, and they are trying to make them tolerant to a military. They make parades at the kindergarten. They have these courses for a young trooper at school and so on. So it means that they are growing the generations that will tolerate war. And on my opinion, that is the answer. Do they want war? Because you will not see this in European countries, because no one is thinking that you can go and do something like that. But it's their way of thinking. So anyway, you can ask some questions because we have a Q&A. So please, yeah, you're free to ask anything.
Well, thank you very much for your reports, and my question is in particular about the AI fake pictures on social media. I mean, these were not exactly the ones that I saw, but on the Kvartirnik, for some reason, maybe you can also tell why it happens. On my private Facebook, I mean, that doesn't happen. But on Kvartirnik, that is like, you know, that's very much connected to Ukrainian topic. There, well, more than half of the posts is those fake ones. Sometimes it changes because I keep track and I report them all as fake or whatever, right? But a lot of them are with Putin in different, you know, with potato bearers or with the sports people or whatever. And then others are also in the line of, you know, poor us and stuff, what the pictures that you were showing. Apart from, you know, us individuals reporting them, I mean, your finger, because when it's all your feed is those pictures, it's like, okay, well, now I have to go and work. But what else can we do? Maybe on the governmental level, on the civil society organizational level, like here in EU, to kind of safeguard ourselves from the AI on the propaganda via AI on social media. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, you're doing actually right, because you're reporting, and that's an important thing to do. You have to report, not comment, not like or dislike, nothing like that. Just report. And then if there is a big amount of people doing that, then this picture probably will be deleted. And the other thing is, what I have seen is sometimes they are using some like groups in Facebook and so on, and then there's a lot of people that are sharing that because they don't understand that this is AI generated and that's actually Russian sources picture. And in these cases, well, I know what to do in Ukraine, because several months ago when we contacted our security service, so now they are asking us if we find something like this to send it to them, and they will block it from their level. I have no idea how it works in Sweden actually, but I think it's a good experience to share. I think that your cyber threats service should work like this. So there should be maybe authorized users that can report on some pictures, and that would be deleted faster than the Facebook will do it, because sometimes they just don't do it. And the same with the X and other social medias. I actually I don't like what Elon Musk said for the last year or even more, and actually what happened to Twitter. But there's there's one thing that I actually like, and I think that Facebook and other social media should do the same. There's possibility to mark post as a disinformation or misinformation, and to put a truth under it, so you can mark it. And I think that's the future, because it's impossible to block everything, but to mark, it's more possible to do that. And when a person sees that something and it's marked, and okay, yeah, that's not true, so it's easier. Yeah, please.
I would like to inform you that in my work I raise money, and I knew a lot of Ukrainians, and I knew them for many years, and they have relatives working in the army, and sometimes they also need chest seals, echo flows, everything like that. So I raise money for that. And I was contacted on Facebook. A guy, he is well known by the Ukrainians. He had also Instagram account where he talks, and he is in the army, and he is in the front, in the 0 line and 1 line. And he contacted me and say, "Oh, I see that you help Ukrainians. Can you please raise some money for me?" And I was trying to ask him questions to see if he's fake or real. And I searched internet and saw his Instagram account where he was talking. And I went to my friends, and they from Mariupol. And I asked him, "Can you speak Ukrainian?" He said, yeah, I can speak Ukrainian, of course, I can. And I say, "Okay, can you, my friends wants to call you. My friend Julia, she wants to call you. Can she call you now?" "Oh, no, that's not possible." And she asked me to send him money on PayPal. And I say, and Julia called him, and he was hang up. He didn't want to speak to her, and he continued to write to me. And they was looking at the writings, and they say, "We are not. It's Ukrainian-ish. We don't speak like that. It's translated." And I blocked him, of course. So they also, every time you try to help, you must search and you must talk to Ukrainians. They can investigate if it's true or not. We don't want to help the Russians, right? Yeah.
Thank you. It's actually very also a good model to find personal contacts for any person or information, because if there is a witness that was there, he can tell you what happened. Because AI is a Pandora box, and it's a very, very powerful tool for scammers, because now you can make a video of the person talking or doing whatever you want, and wherever you want. So yeah, it's a very big tool for scammers. Yep. Any other questions, please? Sure.
Sorry, someone already asked about this one, or I already spoke about this one. But my question is about your personal opportunity, how you saw the situation now with TikTok and Telegram. Because from one side, we know Telegram, it's Russian messengers, and we're not allowed to use it, and no one from Frontline are allowed to use it, and no one are using it. I hope you also, maybe just for private things. But at the same time, we have our government have official channel in Telegram. How it's can be like this one? And second one, the same one is a TikTok. We know it's Chinese app, but it a lot of Chinese propaganda, but it's still not blocked. And at the same time, a lot of my friends, who is also from Frontline, they still use TikTok. But what is worst, they also publish a video on TikTok. or it's not a worse. We also need to publish and use this TikTok or Instagram. What is your personal opportunity, of your opinion is about this one?
Like what to do with this?
what to do with this one?
I actually like the idea in France. I think Emmanuel Macron said that they are going to restrict for younger generation till 15 or something to use TikTok and social medias, and I think that's a good idea. Of course, there will be, when you are young and someone restricts you to do something, it's like more motivation to do that. So I'm not sure if that will work, but the idea is good because too much of AI and too much of scammers and so on. I don't think that there is a silver bullet to change everything, but I think that marking in TikTok, in other social media, is something that can change situation, change the balance, I would say. So my personal opinion is that governments have to make TikTok owners and other social medias to do this marking. And someone like a fact-checking organizations or a government fact-checking organization should control this stuff. Like just marking, okay, we don't block, but we mark that this is AI, this is fake. Kind of that, and then a person can see the difference. There also will be a small part of people that will believe everything, conspiracy theories and so on. It's probably normal because people are different, but the point is to make majority more resilient to fakes and disinformation and propaganda.
Can I add some about this TikTok and social media? All the time I hear that, look, China makes some propaganda, Russia makes some propaganda in social sources, and we're sitting here and thinking about what should we do. Well, propaganda, as I mentioned before, that is the same weapon as a tank, the aircraft, and etc. In case your neighbor country makes 1,000 tanks, and you are thinking about what to do with it, isn't it better to make your 1,000 things just to be ready to protect yourself, your country, your government, your citizens? When we speak about propaganda, we have to understand that it's not like government makes it. There are live human beings, people, citizens, some Chinese guys, some Russian guys who are making this propaganda. They work. They got sources for that, and to protect our citizens, to protect our people, our governments in European Union, in Canada, in United States, etc. They have to work as well. They have to spend some sources for that. They have to hire people to teach them and to prevent the enemy's propaganda, to protect their own citizens. Why shouldn't we do well? Social media, internet, that is the future. AI, that we will not stop this. But we have to work with it. We have to learn our people how to survive with it and how to use it, because propaganda doesn't mean like something bad all the time. Why shouldn't we make propaganda about something good, like to help each other, to save nature, and etc.? That is the propaganda as well. Why shouldn't we use this one? But we have to recognize that we got an enemies on the eastern part of the planet who use the propaganda as a weapon against us, against Europe, and just to recognize it and start to work, to cooperate inside European Union and to protect our citizens. That's it.
More questions, please?
Is there any like EU level body that works for this? Or like what is the EU organization that is supposed to work? Like how does it look?
Oh, well, for the last several weeks we were thinking on that question, and if anyone that of the people that are here present here have a phone number for Kaya Kallas, I would be happy to take it and call her, because from our perspective she's the person that is able to form sanction lists. And so, okay, the problem is some countries of the European Union that they don't have laws to block channels, block media, block web pages or anything. And it's only possible to do it collectively from the European Parliament and those who make sanctions, and especially like the sanction list against Russia. So if there is a list of, as we found, I'm pretty sure that there is more than 93 sources that are working in European Union and sharing Russian propaganda and disinformation. So there is a big quantity of these sources. Why not to put them in a sanction list and just to block it? Or I don't know, at least to tell the owners that, okay, you have to be cautious, because if you will continue sharing information from Sputnik and Russia Today and Russia One and so on, so you will be blocked. Kind of that. So because maybe it is possible some medias just don't care and they just take in information from government, because it's actually government sources, like, but it's Russian government sources, and Russia is seeing you as an enemy. So I think that Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the European Union is the organization that probably is the one able to make big decisions on that.
The main body she's the head of culture board of Sweden, or whatever it's called in English. And her question was, like, here we don't have the list of blocking of Russian propaganda. She meant more like cultural people who are actually paid by Russian government, but also other things, which is all part of the propaganda, the topic of this discussion. And her question to the other people was, so do you think Sweden should have a list? And the answers were not very good, I think. But she meant that it should be. So, yeah, that's here. I think that probably in Baltics, what she was referring to is that the Baltics are very concrete with that list of like what cannot, the sources and the people who cannot come here from Russia. Do you have any other like good examples on the state level?
Well, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, we have been there, and they're blocking everything Russian what they can find. So because they know they have a border and they know that they are next victim. So I'm not sure about Sweden, but I'm pretty sure that you have some investigators or fact-checking organizations that are countering disinformation, and I'm pretty sure that they have this list of the sources and so on. The problem I figure is that they have it, they can publish it, and that's when they usually think that's what they do, and that's enough. But I think that's not enough. I think that this should be transferred to a government, and government should decide on what to do with this, because that's a threat.
Yeah, so clearly there are two directions, the way, if I understood you correctly, take it on the state level here or EU direction.
Yes, but we are trying now to reach EU level because it's easier. For example, we have Slovakia, we have Hungary, and I don't think that Viktor Orban will block anything.
Probably not.
Yes, but if there is a decision from the upside level, they have to do this. So why not to make their informational space a little bit better? Why not?
Sure.
Take, you had a question, and before I just want to give a short introduction. Take is one of the really cliffs when it comes to volunteering in Sweden and providing things to Ukraine, both privately but also in organizations. I'm sure you're so.
I'm just curious, among those 93 channels that you have identified, have you seen any Swedish?
We did not monitor Sweden informational space.
Is anyone doing that, or do you?
Well, after talks in here, we are now thinking that maybe we will do it this summer. We will, because not big amount of people we have, and these are volunteers, so it's like people have their regular job and then they spend some time to monitor and so on. So
Or maybe
we can
Swedish
make-
journalists are doing this right now, but I don't know about it. So.
I think that they probably do, but I cannot say for sure.
Okay, we have time for more questions. Any questions from the audience? Joachim, please. You can just come up here with a question, because we need the sound to go out in the live streaming.
So, can you tell us a bit more about what kind of brainwashing attempts by Russian propaganda you became victims of when you were in captivity? Was there any special methods they used, for example, or something they usually told you and tried to make you believe?
From the very beginning, when we got to the captivity to Russian prisons, they started beating up us and torture during the interrogations, and they motivated us that they know that we are Ukrainians, we are Nazis and fascists. That was their motivation. At the same time, they claimed us that our president is a Jew. So yeah, that is so much stupid, ridiculous, but that is real argues. One of the we got, they told us a lot of things, but that was the most funny. Like they said that we are Nazis and like betrayers because we want to have an alliance with the European Union and Germany as well. And they got some problems with these guys in their history, yes, and they decided that we are the same, like, but at the same time they don't like Jews, and they said like your president is a Jew. How could you let this happen? That was another problem. And when I was speaking about when I tried to have a discussion with the interrogators in the captivity. And I asked them, like, why do you think so? And they said, like, well, we've seen it on TV, we've seen it in the news. They were like, how don't you know this? You can open the Facebook, you can open the Vkontakte or etc., and you can see all the evidences that you are Nazis. One guarder blamed us that in Ukrainian school we teach students as if Ukrainians made a Black Sea like 1,000 years ago. And I was shocked, like, well, seriously, man, I was in Ukrainian school. Isn't it like, how can you, even if you read this, well, if I would find information that Americans made an Atlantic Ocean, I wouldn't believe it. Well, at least because I have some level of IQ, I hope that it's more than enough to not believe in such bullshit. I'm sorry. But he truly believed that we believe that we made the Black Sea. Like, well, what is, how many classes you should, how many forms you should skip at school to believe in such things? I can't understand. But that is an example of their behavior and their beliefs.
В моєму випадку, от Євген розповідає про те, що називають нацистами і тому подібне. От мене називали і моїх побратимів укро-бандеро-масоно-фашисти.
So in his case, there was like a name they Russian guards were naming Vlad, and is that he's Ukro Bandero
Масоно-фашисти.
Masono fascist. No, Mason fascist.
Починали з старого школа русифікація в нас, давали нам історію Росії з 8 по 11 клас.
In Starый Oskol, they were giving the books from the school, the history books. Yeah, Russian history.
Так, російська історія, де було вказано про те, що Україна – це не Україна, це окраїна Росії. Ну, типу, як зазвичай, ось недавно я навіть в Тіктоці прямий ефір побачив і почав переписуватися там з молодими росіянами. Кажу, і вас вчать, типу, що Україна то є зло. Ну так, ну фашисти, ну нацисти.
So he said that in those books there was mentioned that Ukraine is not a real country and it's like the only a border territory of Russian Empire. And he also found some video on TikTok that said something similar to this, and he started to chat with the person who posted it, and he says that I asked him, so you study at school that Ukraine is like an enemy for you, and they said yes, we know that Ukraine is an enemy for us because you are fascists.
Також ми здавали екзамени, і багато яких там їхніх питань було, хто такі Мазепа.
Yeah, we had exams on the history also in captivity, and there were questions, who is Mazepa?
Всі ми добре знаємо про Полтавську битву, про те, що Мазепа то є наш герой, і до цього часу ще Україна в підданстві Швеції. І історично так склалося.
So, and we all know who Mazepa is and what happened in the Poltava area, and Ukraine is still... Я не знаю, як переказати. Like in a union with Sweden.
Але Мазепа в Росії то є зрадник. І за те, що Мазепа у нас герой, а в них зрадник, нас за це били.
Yeah, and in Russia Mazepa is a collaborant, so they were beaten because of Mazepa.
Літературу нам давали таку дуже цікаву: Молода гвардія, Ленін, Капітал, Фінансист і тому подібне. Ну, така просто жорстка пропаганда Росії була.
Це ще Союзу.
Давно.
So they were giving books from the period like 100 years ago that were written by Lenin, Marx, and other authors from that period because they're still actual for their society to read.
Дякую.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I usually try to involve humor when I talk, but I don't find any words. Instead, I actually would just like to thank you. I cannot even know or imagine what you've gone through, and your friends, and I know you also lost friends in this process, and you've been defending Mariupol. I'm a mentor of a boy from Mariupol. His biggest dream is that we liberate Mariupol again. And I think in honor of lost friends and lost soldiers, I think we should stand up and have, instead of trying to joke about this, let's have a silent minute for the friends that you lost.